now deal with the problem which are known as boats and stream problems. Now, one thing you will notice is when we come to the quadratic equations chapter, you can actually solve these questions using either linear equations or quadratic equations. That of course is for another time, but that's just a piece of information for you. Now basically what happens in the boats and stream problems is you are told that there is a boat and it goes upstream, which means against the current because it's a stream that's flowing, not a lake, and downstream, which means with the current. And based on a bunch of information that they can give you, generally which has to do with time and distance, they will ask us to find the speed of the boat in still water, which just means the basic speed that the boat can generate, as well as the speed of the stream. As I said, upstream and downstream. Obviously, if something is flowing, it will affect the speed of whatever is inside it. These questions are normally very long. They take some time to formulate and you have to solve them with care. So let's look at one such problem. Now, in this problem, we are given that a boat can travel 30 kilometers upstream and 44 kilometers downstream in 10 hours. Also, it can travel 40 kilometers upstream and 55 kilometers downstream in 13 hours. Based on this information, we must find the speed of the boat and the speed of the stream. This will be done by analyzing it first to form our equations using time, speed, distance relationships, which is again first taught in class 5 and then reinforced as time goes on, and then using a new skill in linear equations that we will look at. Let's first understand the problem. Now, if I am a boat and I am traveling upstream, I have some speed. Let's say that the speed of the boat is x. The stream has some speed. Let's say that it is y. So when I'm going upstream, that means my actual speed will be x minus y because the stream is pushing against me. It's slowing me down. Similarly, if I would be going downstream, now I'm going at x and the stream is pushing me along at a speed y. So my speed becomes x plus y. So we actually take this as speed of the boat going upstream is x minus y. Speed of the boat going downstream is x plus y. Now using speed, time, distance. We are told that to go 30 kilometers upstream and 44 kilometers downstream, it takes a total of 10 hours. Now, using the formula that's distance is equal to speed into time means time is equal to distance upon speed, which means the time taken to go upstream will be distance going upstream 30 divided by speed going upstream x minus y, and time taken to go downstream will be 44 kilometers downstream divided by speed going downstream, which is x plus y. So total time in this case, we add these two together. 30 upon x minus y plus 44 upon x plus y is equal to 10 because we were told it takes 10 hours. Similarly, in the second case, we went 40 kilometers upstream, 55 kilometers downstream in 13 hours. So following the same logic, the equation is 40 upon x minus y plus 55 upon x plus y is equal to 13. Now we pause. What do we do here? This is not a simple linear equation. I have x minus y, x plus y, that too in the denominator. How do I deal with this problem? This is done by using the concept that we substitute our variables themselves. Meaning, I take 1 upon x minus y and say let that be equal to u. And 1 upon x plus y, let that be equal to v. And come and replace it in my equations. So your equations turn into, so 30 upon x minus y is nothing but 30 into 1 upon x minus y, which is just u. So 30u plus 44 upon x minus y, 44 upon x plus y, which is simply 44 into 1 upon x plus y, which we took as v. So 30u plus 44v is equal to 10. And the second equation becomes 40u plus 55v is equal to 13. Now this is a linear equation in two variables, two of them. So I will show you now how we will solve for u and v, and then after solving for u and v, we get new equations in x plus y and x minus y. We will be solving those to get our final answer. So it's a long process, it's a long question. Let's go through it step by step, but it's a very critical question to understand. As long as you understand the formulation of the equations, this substitution thing that we're doing now, that will become more and more comfortable to you. So let's quickly solve it and then look at the following and last question for this chapter. So now that you've seen how to formulate the equations, I'm going to walk you through the step-by-step process of solving the equations. Because as I said, there will be quite a few substitutions and it will be a bit complicated. So starting off, just again to rewrite our equations, we have 30 upon x minus y plus 44 upon x plus y equal to 10, and 44 upon x minus y plus, 40 upon x minus y plus 55 upon x plus y is equal to 13. These are our equations. As I said, you will take 1 upon x minus y to be equal to u and 1 upon x plus y to be equal to v, which means clearly this 30 upon x minus y gets replaced with u, v, like this. So you end up getting 30u plus 44v is equal to 10. Like I said, 1 upon x minus y is u, which means 30 upon x minus y, 30u, 44v, and this one will become 40u plus 55v equal to 13. Now, of course, this you will solve like any linear equation. I personally choose to do by elimination, multiply by 4, multiply by 3 to make the u values equal. Now, which should I subtract? That I'll do by seeing. This will become 176, 44 into 4. This will become 55 into 3, 165. 40, 39. I will subtract the second from the first. So as I said, the 120u and the 120u will get cancelled. 176v minus 165v will give you 11. V is equal to 40 minus 39, 1, which means V is equal to 1 by 11. So substituting V into the first equation, I get 30u plus 44 into 1 upon 11 is equal to 10. Of course, that means 30u is equal to 10 minus 4, 6, which means u is equal to 6 by 30 or 1 by 5. Now we come back over here. Now if 1 upon x minus y is u, that must mean x minus y is 1 by u and x plus y is 1 by V, which U is 1 by 5. So 1 by U will be 5, means X minus Y is 5 and X plus Y will be equal to 1 by V, which is 1 upon 1 by 11, which will be 11. And now you have these two equations which you will solve, and these are of course very simple to solve. For example, I can do it right away by adding them for elimination method. 2x equal to 16, x equal to 8, plugging into the first equation, 8 minus y is 5, y equal to 3. So as I said, substitution twice. First to get the u and v, then back into that substitution to get our final equation. So in this way, we have found that the speed of the boat, which was our x, is 8, and the speed of our stream, which was our y, is 3. So this is how you deal with these kinds of linear equations. And the key is to observe this is the same, this is the same. The final question of this chapter is known as a work question. Generally what happens in these questions is you will be told that some combination of men and women, boys and girls, men and boys, women and girls, etc. can finish a certain amount of work in so many days or so many hours. Another group of the same type of people but different combinations can finish it in a different amount of time. Then we're asked, how long will it take one man or one boy or 3 men and 2 boys, something like that, to finish the job? So I'll give you an example of a question. We are told that 2 women and 5 men can finish a piece of work in 4 days. Also, 3 women and 6 men can finish that same work in 3 days. We are asked, using this information, how much time will it take 1 woman to complete the work and 1 man to complete the work? So let's analyze the question. These questions require a bit of creativeness on your part. The way we think about these questions is, and the key and the biggest help for you is what I've been saying throughout this chapter, identify your variables right away, which is there in the question. How much time will it take 1 woman and 1 man to finish the work? So I say, let's assume that it takes 1 woman X days to complete the work and 1 man Y days to complete the work. Using this, we're going to solve our whole question. Now think about it like this. If I take 10 days to complete a job, logically that means in 1 day I will do 1/10 of the job. Now if I somehow clone myself and there are 2 of me now, we both start doing that job. Now in 1 day I will do 1/10, my clone will also do 1/10. If I have 2 clones, both of them will do 1/10, I am doing 1/10. So the total is becoming 3/10 per day, 4/10 per day, so on and so forth. So if it takes me 10 days to finish the work, in 1 day I'll finish 1/10 of the work. So if it takes 1 woman X days to finish the work, in 1 day she will finish 1 upon X amount of the work. Now, that means in our first case, the 2 women are there. In 1 day, they complete 2 upon X of the work. 2 into 1 by X. Similarly, 1 man will finish 1 upon Y of the work in 1 day, which means 5 men will finish 5 upon Y of the work in one day. That means this combination of 2 women and 5 men, in one day, they finish 2 by x plus 5 by y amount of work. We can actually determine how much work this is. Why? Because we know that collectively they will take 4 days to finish the job. So that means the total amount of work they do in one day must be 1/4 the total amount of work required to do. Just like if one woman takes x days, in one day it's 1 by x. So these 2 women and 5 men take 4 days. So in one day it's 1 by 4. Which means our equation becomes 2 by x plus 5 by y, work done by them in one day, is equal to 1/4. And in the second case, work done in one day will be 3 by x plus 6 by y, because we have 3 women and 6 men. They as a group take 3 days to finish the work. So one day's work would be equal to 1 by 3 of the total job. So 3 by x plus 6 by y is equal to 1 by 3. And this is how we get to our 2 equations. Now this is very similar to the boat and stream problem, although a bit easier in that we again take 1 by x to be u and 1 by y to be v. We will proceed to solve it in the same way. The good thing about this question is that you don't actually have to again solve linear equations later. Once you get u and v, you'll just get x and y directly as their reciprocal. We'll go through it once and look at what answers we get at the end. So again, the key to all the questions, particularly these last 2-3 questions, is identify your variables and then using them in an intelligent manner, form your equations. The work problem and the boat problem, you will have to practice a few times to get comfortable with it. 2 by x, 5 by y, 1 by 4. Why is it this? Like I said, the focus is daily work of a person, an individual, and a group. So like this, there are many types of questions that can be formed. As long as you are careful and intelligent and form your equations properly, you will have no problem. Because solving linear equations is not the big challenge, whether it's substitution, elimination, even cross multiplication. You will get an answer. You just need to get to that point. So let's finish this question off, finish off the chapter, and then move on to the next topic. Okay. Good. So, like in the previous question, I'm again going to show you the working because these are again similarly slightly more complicated. So of course, if our equation is 2 by x plus 5 by y equal to 1 by 4 and 3 by x plus 6 by y is equal to 1 by 3, what we will say is let 1 by x be u and 1 by y be v. So once again 1 by x gets replaced with u. This becomes 2u plus 5v, 1 by y gets replaced by v, is equal to 1 by 4, and 3u plus 6v is equal to 1 by 3. Once again, it's a linear equation in u and v. I will solve it. So let's say I eliminate u into 3 into 2. Again, I check this will become 15v, this will become 12v. I'll do subtraction of second equation. So when I subtract the second from the first, obviously 6u minus 6u will become 0. 15v minus 12v will become 3v. And on this, we'll get 3 by 4 minus 2 by 3. Which, if I take LCM, LCM is 12. This will get multiplied by 3. So 9. This will get multiplied by 4 minus 8 upon 12 or 1 by 12. And so V is equal to 1 by 36. coming and replacing it into one of the equations, I'm going to choose the second one simply because I can see 6 and 36. I'll get 3u plus 6 into 1 by 36 is 1 by 3. That means 3u is 1 by 3 minus 1 by 6. That is just 1 by 6, which means u is 1 upon 18. And the good thing about this question as opposed to the previous one is we can actually get x and y directly. X is 1 by u, y is 1 by v, which means if u is 1 by 18, 1 by u is just 18. So x is 18 and y, if v is 1 by 36, y will be 36. Or in other words, it takes one woman 18 days to complete the work and a man 36 days to complete the work, because that was our x and y. So with this, you can see how we can even deal with complicated problems in linear equations by substituting intelligently and keeping track of our information. So the more you practice, the more comfortable you'll get, but conceptually, we're done with this chapter. So let's move on to another chapter.